Hey there gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the colorful world of Metaphor ReFantazio, where storytelling meets a super fun combat system. If you've been enjoying your adventures and want to up your game, you're in for a treat. We're ranking all 14 archetypes in the game, showcasing the best of the best to help you craft the ultimate team. Whether you love going in guns blazing or prefer a more strategic approach, there's something here for everyone. So grab your snacks and settle in as we break down each archetype based on their skills, stats, and how efficiently they can take down any foe. We all have our favorites, and that's part of the fun, but we're here to help you find the ones that will fit your playstyle like a glove. Ready to annihilate with flair? Let's get started. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking archetypes in Metaphor ReFantazio. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
My friends, only 0.1% of viewers subscribe. If you like this type of content, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance for your support.
The archetypes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Gunner, Berserker, and Brawler. Let's dive into the C tier archetypes in Metaphor ReFantazio. Now, I know what you might be thinking. C tier, that sounds like a snooze fest. But trust me, each of these archetypes brings its own flavor to the game, even if they're not the creme de la creme. So let's unpack their strengths and weaknesses. First up, we have the Gunner. Picture this, you're in the early game, sniping foes from a distance with your piercing attacks. The Gunner can be a solid pick at the start, especially with those sweet debuffs that can turn the tide of battle. However, as you progress and unlock other archetypes, the Gunner starts to feel like yesterday's news. Those long-range shots just can't compete with the speed and agility of front-row allies who are more than happy to outshine our back-row friend. So, while the Gunner has its moments, it might be time to explore other options as your squad evolves. Next on the roster is the Berserker, a true powerhouse in terms of raw damage. Imagine a hulking brute swinging away like there's no tomorrow. Sounds awesome, right? The catch is that you unlock the Berserker pretty late in the game, when you've likely already got other archetypes that can deliver similar damage but much faster. Yes, this guy has high HP and can ramp up his damage over time, but his slow charge time means he might not be the best fit for fast-paced encounters. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. Sure, you'll get there eventually, but the other guys are already taking the lead. Finally, let's talk about the Brawler. Now, don't get me wrong, the Brawler can be pretty nifty, especially when you finally unlock its ultimate form, the Martial Artist. But until you reach that pinnacle, you might find yourself wishing for something with a bit more bite. Sure, the Brawler deals strike damage and has access to some handy debuffs, but using HP instead of MP can feel like walking a tightrope. It's a delicate balance, and with other archetypes offering better options without the micromanagement, the Brawler can start to feel like a bit of a drag. So, there you have it, an overview of the C-tier archetypes in Metaphor ReFantazio. While they might not be the star players, they each have their moments in the spotlight. Whether you're just starting out or looking to fill a gap in your roster, these archetypes can still lend a helping hand. Just remember, as you venture further into the game, the real power lies in adaptability and choosing the right mix for your squad. The archetypes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Merchant, Thief, and Seeker. Absolutely, let's dive into the fascinating world of archetypes in Metaphor ReFantazio. If you're looking for characters that pack a punch without the usual mana constraints, you'll definitely want to consider the Merchant. This crafty character doesn't rely on MP to unleash powerful attacks. Instead, they harness mag. Sure, it might feel like a disadvantage in the early game when you're still figuring things out, but trust me, as you venture deeper into those treacherous dungeons, this strategy becomes invaluable. With the ability to increase item potency and access to almighty skills, the Merchant becomes a force to be reckoned with when the stakes are high. Now, let's chat about the Thief, one of the most cunning characters in the game. At first, you might think they're just a sneaky little rascal, but don't be fooled. The Thief's ability to steal can drain both HP and MP from enemies, making them incredibly useful early on. If you play your cards right and invest in their evolutions, the Thief can become a powerhouse capable of one-shotting foes with ease. Plus, their access to dark skills and farming potential with this steal ability means you'll be raking in resources while keeping your enemies on their toes. Just be prepared for a bit of a slow burn when it comes to evolution, as this character takes their time to blossom. Then we have the Seeker. Oh boy, what a character. They're like that multi-talented friend who can do a bit of everything but never really masters one thing. In the early game, the Seeker's versatility is a huge asset, but later on, they might leave you feeling like they're spreading themselves too thin. Despite that, their strong synthesis skills make them a valuable member of any party. Whether you need to craft something special or just want to explore different strategies, the Seeker has your back. Just keep in mind that they have a notable weakness to fire, so you'll need to be strategic about when and how you deploy them. In the end, whether you're channeling the Merchant's cunning, the Thief's slyness, or the Seeker's adaptability, each B-tier archetype in Metaphor ReFantazio brings its own unique flavor to the game. It's all about how you choose to use their strengths and navigate their weaknesses. So, as you embark on your epic adventures, remember to think outside the box and let these characters shine in their own special ways. Happy gaming! The archetypes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Mage, Faker, Warrior, Commander, and Knight. Let's dive into the magical realm of Metaphor ReFantazio and explore the A-tier archetypes. These characters aren't just your average warriors, they bring unique skills and dynamics to your team that can really change the tide of battle. So, grab your gear and let's break down the mighty Mage, cunning Faker, steadfast Warrior, strategic Commander, and valiant Knight. First up, we have the Mage. Picture this. You're in the heat of battle, and suddenly, a bolt of lightning strikes down upon your foes. That's the Mage for you, an elemental powerhouse that can exploit enemy weaknesses like nobody's business. They thrive on their elemental skills, which means if you're leaning towards a magic-focused fighter, this archetype is a must-have in your lineup. Just remember, as the game progresses, you can enhance your character's max MP or magic damage, making your mage even deadlier. But be cautious, as some offensive archetypes can easily outshine them in raw damage. Next, let's talk about the Faker. Now, having a Faker on your team is like juggling fire. Thrilling but tricky. This manipulative mastermind can turn a losing battle into a resounding victory with the flick of a wrist. Imagine being able to control the turns and outcomes of combat while debuffing your enemies. Sounds awesome, right? However, here's the catch. The Faker can't attack on their own. So, if you're rolling with one, make sure you've got other heavy hitters in the mix to keep the damage flowing while they work their magic behind the scenes. Moving on to the Warrior, who's basically the bread and butter of any good team. This loyal companion is all about great offensive damage and can dish it out like a pro. When paired with other archetypes, the Warrior becomes your primary source of damage, thanks to their access to physical attack buffs and an increased critical hit rate. Just be wary that their skills can rack up a hefty MP cost. So, if you want to keep the momentum going in battles, you'll need to manage your resources wisely. Now, let's shift gears to the Commander. This archetype is another strategic gem, especially when used as a secondary character. The Commander is all about adapting to the ever-changing battlefield, providing your team with formation buffs that can turn the tide in your favor. You'll be able to take down any foe with enhanced synergy. However, similar to the Faker, the Commander can't deal damage on their own, so make sure you've got the muscle to back them up. They're all about playing the long game. Last but certainly not least, we have the Knight. This noble protector is your go-to tank, absorbing damage and shielding your allies from harm. With their defense buffs and the ability to draw enemy fire, Knights are invaluable in tough battles. They even have access to physical attack skills, so they're not just standing there taking hits. However, it's worth noting that some bosses might ignore defensive skills, so be ready to think on your feet. In summary, each A-tier archetype in Metaphor ReFantazio brings something unique to the table. Whether you prefer the elemental mastery of the Mage, the cunning strategies of the Faker, the raw damage of the Warrior, the tactical prowess of the Commander, or the protective might of the Knight, you'll find plenty of opportunities to create a well-rounded and formidable team. So, which archetype will you choose for your next adventure? Let me know in the comments below. The archetypes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Summoner, Healer, and Masked Dancer. Let's dive into the fascinating world of Metaphor ReFantazio, where we explore 3 standout S-tier archetypes that can take your gameplay to the next level. If you're tired of the same old strategies, these archetypes are here to shake things up and bring some serious flair to your team. First up, we have the Summoner, a true jack of all trades. This archetype thrives on adaptability, seamlessly blending physical and magic attacks. The best part? It can summon monsters using enemy drops, adding an extra layer of strategy to battles. With access to powerful synthesis skills, the Summoner can craft its abilities to fit any situation. And don't worry about defense. This archetype boasts impressive survivability. The only downside? It takes a bit longer to unlock its full potential, but trust me, it's worth the wait. Next on our list is the indispensable healer. Seriously, if you don't have a healer on your team, are you even playing right? This archetype has your back with its ability to heal all allies simultaneously, remove pesky status conditions, and even revive fallen comrades with full HP. Plus, a lot of enemies are weak to the healer's powerful light attacks, making it a crucial asset in any encounter. However, keep in mind that while the healer excels in support, it's not the most versatile option when it comes to dealing damage. Last but definitely not least, let's talk about the Masked Dancer. If you're looking for versatility, look no further. The Masked Dancer can adapt to fill any role your team needs, from damage dealer to support, all while executing its skills with finesse. It can change skills and resistances on the fly, inflict weaknesses on enemies, and even has a chance to bypass enemy blocks. Sure, it might not hit as hard as more specialized archetypes, but its flexibility makes it a valuable player in any battle. With the Masked Dancer in your corner, you can keep your opponents guessing at every turn. So, whether you're summoning monsters, healing your allies, or dancing around the battlefield, these S-tier archetypes in Metaphor ReFantazio are sure to elevate your gameplay experience. Dive in and see how they can transform your strategy. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.